Now, variables have some naming conventions. A good variable should have a descriptive word or a descriptive name. For example, in my variable here, the variable age, I've written the name age. This is a descriptive word, but you might find somebody writing int a is equals to 25. So that's not recommended, because a variable name should be a little bit descriptive, so that a person who does not know about the program can be able to know maybe what you mean in regards to the name of your variable. Now, there are some rules that need to be followed when writing a variable. Now, first of all, the variable should not have spaces in between. For example, you might find somebody putting a space here. That is very wrong. A variable should not have a space. Number two, a variable cannot start with a number. For example, you might find somebody writing 1 then age. A variable should not start with a number. Another thing is that a variable should not use keywords or reserved words while naming your variable. So keywords are those words that already the C program is using them. So it will come into conflict with the different names that are there. So it's not recommended to use a keyword or reserved words. Now, for example, I have this my program here. I've declared a variable age of integer data type having a value of 25. Now I've displayed the value 25. So when you save it, then run, it gives me 25. Now, to make things a little bit more understood, you can write here. So you can write the age is like that, then space, then save. So when you run it, now the age is 25. So that looks a little bit better. Now you might want to change the values of a variable. You might want to change the values of a variable. For example, the value of our variable here, age, is 25. Now let us come up with a new variable. For example, let us say int new age. We have a variable called new age is equals to maybe 50. So I've declared another variable called new age of a value 50. Now I want to interchange that value here. So let me print it, printf. So let us call it the new age. Now the new age is percentage d, because it's an integer, comma. So then you mention the variable here, so new age, then terminate with a semicolon, then save your work. Now when you run it, it looks like this. Now the age is 25, then the new age is 50. But you see, this one is one sentence. We don't want this to be one sentence. We want the age is 25 to be up here, then the new age is 50. So how do you do that? So you come down here, then you put here backward slash, then n. So when you save it, then run. So there we go. So the age is 25, the new age is 50. Now again, you might want to do what? Assign variables to another variable. For example, let us come up with something. For example, we declare our variable hashtag include main. So int, let us have a variable called int number 1. Number 1 is equals to 31. Now let us print out the value, printf, quotes, the first number is percentage d comma number 1. So when you run this, you save it, then you run, so it will give us the first number is 31. Now we want to assign a variable to another variable. So how do you do that? We have already assigned the value 31 to number 1. So let us assign this 31 to another variable. So let us have int number 2. So we now have another variable number 2 is equals to number 1, like that. So let us print that one out. Printf the second number is %d comma is second number, int is number 2, that is number 2. So if you look here, what I've done here, I have said that number 2 is equals to number 1, so the value of the number 1 will go to number 2. So when you save it and run it, so it's in the same line. So let us put backward slash like that. So let us save it. So when you look at this, so the first number is 31, the second number is 31. So I have just assigned a variable, a value of another variable to another variable. Now, another thing that you can do with variables, you can declare more than one variable. You can actually declare more than one variable. So you can have, for example, int number 1, comma, number 2, comma, number 3, and so on and so forth. So we can actually declare more than one variable. Now you need to note that in C programming, if you don't assign a value to a variable, its value cannot be determined. A variable can then have some random and predictable numbers or values. So you need to always give it a value. However, some compilers may give it a 0 depending on which compiler you're using. So students, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that whenever we post such videos, you'll always be the first one to reach it, so that you guys can revise, and you guys can pass your exams.